Hi, Gary here. If you're like me, you might have this certificate up on the wall that has a bachelor's degree for basically giving up 4 years of freedom in return for a bunch of A, B's, or C's and having this certification saying that at least you could pass a bunch of tests. Now, I find that as just a single entry point to get out in the world. Now, it could be from high school as well. It's not necessarily saying you have to be a college graduate. But the real learning takes place when we get into the real world. And there was an article by Seth Godin recently about that. And he brings up really four major points that I really liked about being what I call as a lifelong learner. And they are, number one, it's self-directed, meaning you get to do this on a daily basis to learn something new, to change something about what you do in the future and learn how to do that. It's voluntary. It's you don't have to be in a classroom. You don't have to be in front of a teacher or instructor or do things you don't want to do. You get to voluntarily then pick and choose things in the real world that really affects what you're really doing to make a real impact. That's what's really important about the voluntary side of it. It's about always being available. Why? As long as you're walking around, especially with all the smart devices and everything we have availability to so much more information than we ever had before. We can learn things very quickly that we want to learn to be able to do something that we want to do to make, again, an impact on ourselves and others in the world. And finally, it's the way that you see the world. It's really changing that way about the world. And I have to say, what is very important about this is it's one of our criteria of our company, of anybody who comes and works here, is they have to be this way. They have to be a lifelong learner because change is speeding up more and more. And whatever you learned just 2 or 3 years ago has changed. And if you don't continue to learn, you fall further and further behind. And it makes it more difficult to actually have a more positive impact and bring more value to the world. And whatever thing you're doing, whatever that happens to be, it doesn't matter where you are in life relative to it. So I like Seth Godin. He's great, does some really good thought-provoking stuff. In this particular area, I really appreciate about how to be this lifelong learner and how you can actually decide how that's going to be for you at any point and any time in your life. So until next time, enjoy.